Hello there, this is Benjamin Clementine and listen to iloveradio.com.
Hey, what's up, Toronto? My name's Bosco, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
This is Dwight Drummond from CBC News Toronto, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
Hey, what's going down, man? It's your boy Trix, a.k.a. the Human Jump Off, man. You locked into iLive Radio. They changed the way I listen to radio, man.
Well, y'all listen to iLive Radio. My name is Steve Boyd of Parliament Funkadelic, and we want to thank iLive Radio for keeping the funk alive all over the world, worldwide.
Hello and welcome to the promo for Always Digging. My name is Jeff Skull, aka DJ Scully Funk. Every Sunday afternoon, my partner Gary, aka DJ Gaza Taylor, and I choose a theme and play our favorite songs that fit that theme. Tune in right here every Sunday from noon to 2 on iLive Radio.
Every Friday, take a trip around the world with music from around the globe. Colors of Rhythm with your host DJ Ron John. Fridays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on iLive Radio, iliveradio.com.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, a.k.a. The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my third solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, a.k.a. The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my third solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah. Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, a.k.a. The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my third solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Hey, this is DJ Jarzino. Come and join me each and every Thursday on the Love Freeness Radio Show between 4 and 6 p.m. EST, 9 and 11 GMT. Be sure to tune in, spread the word, and share the link right here each and every Thursday on iLive Radio.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, a.k.a. The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my third solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Welcome to iLive Radio. Hi, I'm ODJ, your host from Amalgamation in Sound. Join me every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. where I'll bring you the very best in UK soul, house, broken beat, and everything in between. Remember to join in every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. for Amalgamation in Sound. See you there.
Hey, peace and blessings. This is Lucia D inviting you to join me each and every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. for Honey Drop here on iLive Radio. Journey with me each week as I spin the latest international sounds in new soul, R&B, hip-hop, and a little taste of everything in between. Every show features independent producers from across the globe in the beats beneath, and the 10 sweetest vibes of the week smooth out the night in the 10 Drop. Honey Drop, each and every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on iLive Radio, serving up audible treats like honey, always with a heavy beat drop.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, aka The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my third solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Hey, this is DJ Jarzino. Come and join me each and every Thursday on the Love Freeness Radio Show between 4 and 6 p.m. EST, 9 and 11 GMT. Be sure to tune in, spread the word, and share the link right here each and every Thursday on iLive Radio.
Live from Toronto, broadcasting to the world.
Tell them get the bottles poppin' when they play my song, hey!
It's the Lady Pista Show. That's Saturday vibe with international DJ and producer, Lady Pista.
Trips that you plan for the next whole week. Bands too long for a nigga so cheap. And your flex OD and sex OD. You got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it. Yeah. Pretty little thing, you got a bag and now you wildin'. You just took it off the line, no mileage. Waiting, hitting you the DM looking quality. Talking while you come around and now they starting. Do the 17 on guidance. You be staying low, but you know what the price is. Ain't never got you know it being hardest. Poppin' shit, but only cause you know you poppin', yeah. You got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it, girl. You got it, girl, you got it. I don't wanna play no games, fuck around, get your mind that thing. Know you tired of the same damn thing. That's okay, cause baby, you got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it. You the only one I'm tryna make love to, picking and choosing. They ain't really love you, running game using. All your stupid exes, they gon' fall again. Tell them that a real nigga stepping in. Don't let them niggas try you, test your patience. Tell them that it's over, ain't no debating. All you need is me playing on your playlist. You ain't gotta be frustrated. I don't wanna play no games, fuck around, get your brain. hot for you, gotta come teach me. You a little hot girl, you a little sweetie. Sweet like Pearland, sweet like peach. I could tell you crazy, but shit kinda intrigue me. Seen it on the gram, trying to see that shit in 3D, mommy. I know I get around cause I like to move freely. You can lock it down, I can tell by how you treat me. Seeing how you did, homeboy, so please take it easy. Good to have me on your side, I ain't saying that you need me. Yeah. 6 got tall, but I ain't trying to get preachy. No, no. Seeing how you did, homeboy, please take it easy on me. Cause I don't wanna play no game, play no games. I don't wanna play no games, play no games.
Welcome to the Lady Pista Show, another episode. So tonight is a special night because, we do Unfiltered every week. Last week I wasn't in town, but this week we're going to get it rolling. And this is how we do the show, right? The inspiration for the show is to have inspired conversation with thought leaders, thought provokers, people that are changing the game, basically. And I thought that tonight that we bring on an amazing couple that are going to do their own introduction because I don't even think I can do justice to them. Prenny and Ali, you guys did a viral photo shoot. You don't even know the impact of it. It went viral. And to be a queer South Asian couple, I thought tonight we do something different and we bring this conversation to this platform. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
This is on video, so you guys should see them. They're so cute right now. It's just like I saw you guys and I'm like, this is true love. But to be honest, I'm going to start off with the story and the intention behind the show. It's called Unfiltered. Basically, you could say whatever you want, however you want to say it, and there's no judgment. There's just a conversation around it, right? So basically, when we first started, or when I first heard of you guys, my friend actually sent me a post of you guys on Instagram, and she's like, oh, wow, look at this beautiful couple. This is just so, I've never seen it. It's not anything like this. And I think what really brought people's attention to you guys is the fact that you guys were both in saris. I think that was it. So we're gonna start off like that, but I want you guys to tell us a little bit about you guys, and then we'll start off with Ali, and then Penny, we can go to you as well. So
okay,
let's go. Yeah.
What do I say?
Tell me a little bit about yourself. What have you done? Because I know you've done some amazing things.
Yeah, I just do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I am currently a graduate student.
Okay.
And I'm a LGBTQ plus rights activist, and I've been just kind of doing things for the last, I don't even know, 8 years.
Yeah.
Just a lot of community work in the Halton region and Toronto, and right now I'm in Ottawa, so I'm kind of trying to spread that there. And I'm also the founder of the Queer South Asian Women's Network, which is kind of a culmination right now of all of the work that I've done in the LGBTQ community with racialized queer youth. So my research and advocacy work primarily focuses on queer South Asian women, which is really cool because I get to do it from the research perspective where I get to meet folks in the community, hear them, and that's largely how I've been connected within the community too. And then I also bring that into my advocacy work, and then it's really just me understanding my own identity through academic research. So I'm like, yo, fuck these colonizers. So I gotta take up my space now.
Okay.
And what else? I've done like a lot of, I used to speak at schools. Now I mostly just kind of get invited to conferences and like events and stuff like that.
Right,
so I speak there about queer South Asian realities. I've been in a documentary called Families Love Each Other to also speak about it, and a podcast, The Nth Dimension. It was also about queer South Asian realities in Toronto.
You've done a lot.
Cool.
That's like crazy that you've done a lot.
Like it just
kind of comes together.
I don't want to sound like I'm just tooting my own horn.
No, but this is the thing, right? Like we're celebrating you guys tonight, so you could toot your own horn. Like it's allowed.
Okay, exciting.
Yeah. How about you?
So I graduated from the University of Waterloo in June of 2019, so relatively recently.
Yeah.
I studied psychology with a minor in peace and conflict studies.
Okay.
And right now I'm doing a graduate certificate in addictions and mental health at Durham College. Super passionate about mental health advocacy and addiction support advocacy. I grew up in York Region in Markham, and when I was growing up, I felt like the only queer person ever to exist, because all I saw was just cis straight couples,
right?
And I was like, fuck, I'm how am I gonna find someone? I'm gonna be forever alone because everybody is gonna be with another, girls are gonna be with guys and guys are gonna be with girls.
And that's an interesting point that you brought up, being alone.
Yeah.
Do you feel like being South Asian and queer that's a healthy thought?
Hell no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in terms of the state that you were in, did you feel like that because it was just not represented?
Yeah. And, you see Ellens and, I don't know, white people who are out and gay, but, you don't really see many queer South Asian people represented, in the media even, right? So I grew up, feeling, really oh, shit, this is, something that I have to keep to myself. And that it's an internal struggle. I have nobody to talk to about this. But then fast forward years later, with a lot of growth and a lot of visibility, I'm at the point where I am now, where I'm brown, proud, and queer, and all of these identities, all of my intersecting identities, I feel proud of them.
Right, right. And I think what attracted me, especially, I'm gonna bring up the post again because I think it was just super powerful. And we need to acknowledge that. I think it was super powerful. And you being a Tamil woman, I particularly have not seen that. And me as well, being a Tamil queer woman as well, I felt like that representation was long overdue. And I looked at both of you guys and I'm like, yes, finally. Yes. I love the fact that you guys had the courage and bravery to do that. And what I want to know is, how did that photo shoot even come about, and what made you guys even do it and want to even put it online? And you open,
Yeah, I guess I can answer that. So I use my Instagram space for queer activism, just primarily. It's kind of it's just kind of been happening and not super hardcore. Yeah. But We Are Fox Photography, follow them on Instagram. But they found one of my posts that has been seen a lot, and it's the picture that I actually sent to you, the one of me wearing the shirt that says "Not all lesbians are white."
Yeah.
And so she had just sent me a message and asked if I wanted to do a photo shoot with them for their portfolio, and so we did not think it was going to go viral. We didn't think anything of it, actually. They asked me, and I was like, sure, can I bring my partner? And they're like, yeah, we're a wedding photography thing, obviously. And I was like, okay. They were much nicer than that. We love them a lot. But and so I actually asked them if we can wear saris, and because I wanted
Why did you choose saris?
So I noticed that they shoot a lot of queer couples, which was fantastic. And then I was like, she's South Asian for sure, so I felt a lot more comfortable in the first place. But also with queer representation, it is super white, and then any representation of POC that is the few attempts that are given to representation are generally pretty assimilated, because that it's a very sanitized gay identity that white queer people that are in positions of power, when they want to give these spaces, they're like, okay, well, you could be gay and racialized, but you have to do it our way.
Right.
And so we had this opportunity. We had super supportive like photographers that were really excited when we shared that we wanted to wear saris. And through that, it was, for me at least, and I think kind of Price shared a similar narrative, being able to represent our South Asian identities and be queer just meant so much. Like, we didn't think it was going to be for anyone other than just us, like our Instagram feeds, right? Like, even, I think for me, I've been going through, like, I've known I was gay since like grade 9. Like, it's been like a struggle after then to negotiate and figure out my queer and South Asian identity. I like felt the need to assimilate. I've had white partners that have like forced me to assimilate and made super racist. Like, I've dated a racist. Like, I finally, Franny was like, is the first South Asian woman that I've dated. And I literally tell her I felt sparkle emojis on our first date.
Okay.
Because
and was it this type of connection that you felt that was different?
It was a way different connection that I felt because I think because of our queer desi identities.
Yes.
And it was I finally felt complete because I had gone through so many stages where I'm like, I'm just gonna like pretend to be straight again, or just, you know, I'm gonna end up in one of those heterosexual marriages where I'm like gay and super not invested in my hetero marriage, but at least my family is happy. And then for a while also just, maybe I'll just be alone and have dogs, whatever. And
both of you guys said this, the alone part, and I can attest this to this as well, because like I've had this similar thoughts as well, right? So I think this is so crazy because I think that this is the first time, and I think in the Tamil community, it's not like talked about. I don't want to segregate it, but sometimes, so basically how it actually happened is one of my friends, she's like 35, has 2 kids, and she was just like, "What's queer?" And I'm like, wow, like this is how backward the community is, and this is why this conversation is so important. So you were saying that like being alone, the reason that we even feel like that is because there is no representation. Like if I saw couples like you guys everywhere, I would never feel like that. It's not the fact that I've ever been alone, but it's just like it's that representation, and this is just so important because we just need to speak about it, and the more people that come out and out of the closet and just are just out there and like can speak about it, I think it's really courageous. And I guess the next question I'm going to ask you guys is not even a question. Like, I know the whole South Asian context, parents play a huge role in it. And I'm going to ask you, Praini, like, how was it? And I know, like, off air, you said you did come out. How was that for you?
So I came out to my mom about like 2 years ago. And I just like felt this like internal, like, okay, like my mom's my best friend, and this is like the only part of my life that I hide from her. Like I'm very like open and explicit with like everything I do. And I was like dating around the time too. I think I just got out of a breakup a few months before. And
was it with a guy or a girl?
It was with a girl.
Okay.
Yeah. And my parents like knew my ex too, but like knew her in the context of like being my best friend. So there was all these questions of like, where is she? Like, why don't you talk to her anymore? Why don't you talk about her anymore? And I was like, let me like process my breakup in peace. But yeah, like I sat her down Christmas Eve. My sister was there too to be my backup. My dad was just there in the background. He had like his headphones in. He was like watching something on his laptop.
Yeah.
So he was just like kind of there. But I really wanted to tell my mom. So I told her. And first I had to like, the first coming out was like, hey, I've dated and I'm going to continue dating. Like before the even like coming out as like queer, right?
Right.
And then she took that really well. She's like, oh, like I'm glad you told me. Like I want you to tell me these things, right? And I felt like it would be like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Like wait until like after you're done school and like all this stuff. But no, that went really well. And then,
do you think, because mothers always have this intuition, did you feel like she had an idea, or like she just did not, and this is just something that
I have like tits and like pride flags and like everything like plastered all over my room.
Okay.
And I'm like, I came out to her like 2 years ago, so when I was like 20. So I was like, I've gone 20 years with all this shit around, and like they still have no idea. Like
the denial. It's the denial part of it. Yeah.
But like I really think like they just weren't aware of like the queer community and like things about the queer community. But yeah, so she got up to go do something, and I was like to my sister, I was like, holy shit, like she reacted really well to that. Like, should I continue to like come out, right? And then my sister's like, do whatever you feel comfortable to do. She came back, and I was like, okay, I have to tell you something, but I'm scared. And then she's like, what? Like, just tell me. And I was like, okay, so when I told her that I've like dated people before, she was like, "Oh, who have you dated?" And she's like, "Do I know them?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know them, but like I want to tell you, but like I'm scared." So yeah, like I was like, "Do you have any guesses for who it might be that I dated?" And then she's like thought for a while, and I don't really like talk about my guy friends or bring my guy friends around for my parents to know. So the gears in her head were kind of turning, and she's like, "Oh wait, you never bring guys around?" And then she's like, "Was it a guy or girl?" And then I was like, "It was a girl. Like I dated, and then my ex's name." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then like I could see like her processing it. And then I was like, "So like, what do you think? How do you feel, right?" And then she's like, "It's okay." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "So it's okay for me to date girls?" And she's like, "No, like it's okay that you and your ex broke up. Like it'll be okay, kind of thing, right?"
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, like fuck, like I don't know what to do with this information." And I was like, "So like, are you cool with me like dating girls or like whatever?" And then she was like, "No, like it's weird or something like that, something along those lines." And I was like, "Well, I dated my ex and you loved my ex. Like you spoke so highly of her, and she's a girl. Like why not? Like why can't I continue to date women if you like my ex, right?" And she's like, you know, like she didn't have an answer. And there's like so many more things that I wanted to talk to her about, like my entire process of like realizing that I was queer and accepting that I was queer, telling my sister, telling my other relatives. And I felt like she was really overwhelmed with that information. So like I just let her process it. And like from then 2 years ago to now, like our dynamic has like completely changed. Like she'll see something on the news like related to like queer, trans, like topics, and she'll be like, "Hey, like I saw this on the news and I thought of you." Like I work for an organization that supports the 2S LGBTQ+ population. She's like very supportive of that.
So this was 2 years ago that you came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a lot could happen, and
exactly,
like I'm lucky enough to have someone like to have my mom so open to engaging in conversations. Like she'll ask questions and stuff.
How did your dad feel about it?
My dad and I don't talk as much as my dad and me and my mom. When I came out to him, he was like, "We sent you to Waterloo and this is what you did," kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Like at least like
was that the first thing that he said to you?
Yeah. Okay. Because he was also asking about my ex too, and I was like, "Okay, we need to stop this conversation." So we were at a Tim's, and like he like looked over at my mom and he was like uncomfortably like laughing. Okay. And then I was like, "Yeah, man."
So like, you did this in public. You didn't do it at your home.
Yeah, with my dad. But with my mom, I did it at home.
Oh,
with
separately.
My dad,
okay.
Because they were driving me back to Waterloo, and he asked me in the car, like, "Oh, like, when's your ex's birthday? Like, want to do something for her?" And then I was like, "Oh, fuck." Like, I was so ready to tell him in the car, but I was like, "Okay, we have like an hour and a half left. Like, if this goes sideways, like, I don't know what the fuck to do."
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah, I told him then. And, like, we haven't really talked about it since. Like, I told him after we posted the photo shoot pictures, I was like, "Hey, like, if you get any calls from relatives being like, what the fuck is your daughter doing? Like, I'm giving you a heads up. Like, this is what the photo shoot is. Like, we did the photo shoot for, like, this reason. This was the intent behind it and stuff." And he was, like, just, like, asking some questions and stuff about it. Still, like, wrapping his head around it, but, like, still open to engage in conversation.
Right.
So I was, like, appreciative of that.
So, like, after you did that, did you feel like, so after the shoot, and this is for both of you guys, and I'm going to go back to your story as well. Was it a positive thing or was it a negative thing? How did people take it?
So my side of it, I was so happily surprised at how the Tamil community reacted.
Okay.
Because like I've had so many positive comments from like other Tamil folks who are like not even a part of the queer trans community. Like people are like, "Holy shit! Like this is so amazing! Like we want to see more of this and stuff." And the post was like embraced with open arms kind of thing. I surprisingly have not seen many or any negative comments. I think I saw one, but then it got deleted after. So like it was overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And I was like really, really happy about it.
That's really, really, really great to hear, because I think that like it's just like it's just not even seen of, and like we don't even know if, like how, like when you were talking to your mom and you didn't even know if she was gonna accept it or not. Yeah. It's like certain things that we have in our mind about how our parents will perceive certain conversations. So going to Ali, I know you have a completely different side, and I love the fact that you guys have different stories.
For sure.
And like you have not told your parents.
So
right.
Interesting story about
yes.
that. So one of the people that I dated, the racist ex, very white.
Yes.
Super colonial British. I should have seen that one coming. But anyways, had actually outed me to my mom.
Okay.
It was super uncomfortable. I was like, is my family into honor killing? I don't know. But anyways, thankfully, my mom wasn't. So, yeah, so that happened. I think my mom was just in so much shock because I have also...
So how did you tell her? Like,
so I didn't tell her. My white ex took it on herself to tell my mom that we're dating. And I was like, are you dumb? That's violence. She's dumb. But anyways.
Okay.
And so what happened... Like,
and I noticed that you say white ex. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, super white, super colonial white, super trying to enforce whiteness on me throughout our entire relationship. Had made a point to always speak down to my culture and had like comments, for example, like, you know, we need to get married so you can change your last name to have a white last name. Okay, and,
so this is okay. I understand
that. You know,
now.
making fun of like Indian food and like Gujarati food, where like, you know, I have like I grew up in like Oakville. This person is from Oakville as well. Yes, I have like Indian food smells weird, but like I have white friends from Oakville that love coming over and eating Gujarati food, right? Like everyone loves dokla. My mom made Prani dokla today. It was really good.
Yeah, but you also grew up in a very white neighborhood, right?
I did grow up in a very white.
So your experience is probably very different.
So going back to my parents. Yeah. My mom was just in so much shock that she didn't really say anything. She was just kind of like, okay, don't tell anybody, and especially not your dad. And that's been a consistent thing. So with my mom, she's kind of like I'm super close with my mom. That for sure damaged our relationship. And I've gotten to a point like 8 years later where I'm like, okay, if I just don't tell you about my gay, you're happy, and our relationship is great. And so, because for a while even, I was like, okay, maybe if I keep giving you this information even though you don't want it about my like queer life, then you'll come around. But she's very like, you know, don't tell any of our cousins, like your cousins, don't tell anybody in the families, don't tell your dad, like your dad's
so she does know.
My mom knows, but she's in denial. My dad knows nothing, and that's actually funny because he's also like, he's asked about my research topic, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm studying South Asian lesbians, the gay ones. And he'll be like, he'll just go silent. And that's actually an improvement from like early in my undergrad, like 2015, 2014, when I was just volunteering with a LGBTQ plus nonprofit, and he was very much like, why are you doing work in this community? Like, there's no like, you're not part of it. And like, I think at one point we just were in a yelling match outside my house, and he was like, you're not part of this community. And I was like, well, what if I am? And he was like, he just got so mad, and just I saw him entirely shut down, and this man has no emotion for anything other than sales.
Okay. I feel like we can relate, so I understand that.
And like, it was just so like, he literally was like,
dismissive.
No, you're not. And then just end the conversation. And it was the only time we had talked about a potential queer thing for me. Yeah. You know, after that, like nothing. I think I'm not like as close with him as I am with my mom. Yes. So I guess it just doesn't even come into conversation. And then he stopped asking about my research. So I'm presuming that your parents are conservative or more traditional. I think so their thing is with my dad, I think it's just he did some of high school here and like grew up in like Quebec when it was super, super racist and super homophobic. So he was like, yeah, no, I don't want anything. Like, he just has like a bad idea of like queerness because of it. Yeah. And he didn't grow up in India. He like that. They're all like Tanzanian Indians. Okay. So their experience is also a little bit different from, I think, my mom's experience being Gujarati from India, because, you know, there's like that colonial history, but also I mean, my dad came to Canada sooner, so I feel like I have no idea what's going on in his mind. I'm sorry. But yeah, with my mom at least, it's very like, don't tell anybody, it's gonna shame us. Like, they don't want to be ostracized from the family. They feel like, and like my thing is, I'm like, I have told some of my cousins, like, I'm super gay on my Instagram, and the family members that I am okay with seeing, I haven't blocked them. Yeah. Everyone else, I've gone out of my way to block them, all these aunties, so that I can be public still and like be able to share my content. Right. Okay. And so, do you think that? I mean, like, do you think that? And I can definitely relate to you because my parents don't know. So the questions that I'm asking you is like, I can completely, it's like I feel like I'm seeing a mirror reflection of myself talking to you, because like I wanted to really see your side. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, we have like Tamil parents, progressive parents that are
that can accept it and be educated towards it, but there is also that other flip side where it's just so like ingrained in their possibility of this was never a narrative, like for a woman, right?
I think a huge thing too is like I wouldn't say my parents are conservative because like they love my gay male best friends. Yeah. Like.
But it's different when it's their own.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's different when it's their own. Like my mom has, like my parents have never like shown like they've had an issue until it was my mom was like, I'm fine with the gays, but it's like not my child.
Yeah.
Like it's fine when it's anybody else, but she's also like, it's super like weird because I'm like, the family's not gonna ostracize you. Like some of our cousins are super chill with, but she refuses to believe it. And I actually had an incident this summer where one of my cousins had outed me. And like my mom had just freaked out and was like, "Oh my god!" Like, and she did threaten to kick me out if my dad had found out, kind of thing. She was like, "You need to pick between me or your gayness. Like, I'm done with this. You can't." And it was
so it's a very tough situation for you to be in, right?
It is because I don't want to hurt her, and I'm also like, "Well, you left everything to move here and give us this better life, and what I'm repaying you by being like, bye, I'm gay."
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's really cool that you touched upon that because how do you navigate towards finding yourself and being authentically true to yourself and also being true to your family? I find it through personal experience that's very hard and it's very challenging because you could be this open and queer person in the world, but once you're with your family, I feel like you just have to switch.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's this disconnect that actually doesn't allow you to be your truth in a full circle. Not saying that, it's right or wrong to tell your parents, but like I know for a lot of South Asian women especially, that we look for that praise in our parents and we look for that approval. So how do you navigate, or would you say that, for an example, right? Toward the conversation between me and you, like if a girl or if your parents were to say, okay, I accept you like for who you are, and you already knew that, like this is gonna be, how would it change you as a person now? How would you be different?
I would feel a lot lighter. I feel like I carry so much stress and worry. Like I feel like there's always a part of me that feels like I'm constantly disappointing them, and I feel like that also drives my need to constantly be perfect in everything I'm doing. Because there's no part of me that's like, oh, let me censor myself because I'm like, I'm an abrasive quotations, but I come across as a very like, I'll speak my mind. I'll be nice about it.
Is that a coping mechanism for strength?
No, that's not for stress. It's just very like, that's how
strength.
For strength. I think it's more like I'm not gonna take shit from anybody and I'm gonna stand up. But then when it's also like, I feel like. Actually, you know what? I'm really having this reflection process. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I think it might be a little bit of a coping mechanism where it's kind of,
Because your identity, like, to be honest, if you don't have that support, it will fucking break you. It doesn't matter, like, how strong you are. Like, it will break you.
So something interesting that I learned, and this actually might be getting a little bit too deep, but so I learned recently that the average person doesn't like, have, like, in the back of my mind thought of, like, whatever, I'll just die if shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Like that's been like a consistent 10-year long thought of like, I thought it was normal. I was like, well, doesn't everybody have this thought? And then I saw a therapist who was like, no, that's not okay. And I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's been very interesting. Like I feel like that part of me of just like, I'm a very like overall, like I love being like, oh, I'm wonderful, I'm great. And like have tried everything, but I'm like, there's part of me that will always be held down. And then I go into these like super, like I love my Gujarati culture, and like I go into these Gujarati spaces like Garba and stuff like that, and there's no space to even bring up queerness because it's constantly like everything is so heterosexualized. Like things as like pure as Garba and Dandiya is like, oh, maybe you'll find your lover during Dandiya, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna find a dude because that's all they want.
Have you dated men?
I have dated men. I also, so I dated men before I started dating women. And then I also was so done with the queer community because I was only finding white queer folks that I went back and dated a white guy who was a lot better than my white female partners. But
is that something that you were navigating towards? Like you weren't Penny, like, have you dated men before? Or was it just like females you already knew? Like, you just knew that you just liked girls. Like, how does that even work?
Okay, so I knew I was gay, like, from the jump.
Like how young?
Like, when I don't even remember.
Like, give me an age.
The youngest I could think of is like junior kindergarten. Like, I had a crush on my neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And in your mind, was this like, is this something wrong, or I'm just like, now that you're reflecting back, you're like, okay, I actually like this girl.
No, I was like, I actually like this girl, and I accepted it within myself because I'm like, okay, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really see it amongst like other people, but I'm like I can't live on if I can't accept this within myself, right?
Right.
So yeah, so I knew I was gay since I was like really little, and then undergrad hits, and I was like, guys are kind of cute too, but like I don't know how I feel exactly about men.
And you've never kissed a guy.
Around then, no. I think I had my first guy kiss in undergrad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were like testing the waters.
Yeah, I was testing the
okay,
waters. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I have some sort of attraction, but like I don't know how far this attraction goes. But like I identify as queer because like I feel like that's the least, like it's the most fitting to me, and I felt like identifying as a lesbian, like for myself, like whenever I would be like, oh, like that guy's cute or whatever, like people would be like, are you really a lesbian? Like, do you actually like men? Like what's up?
We've all heard that.
Yeah. And like bi people exist, pan people exist. Like it's like no, like just because there's certain attraction to men doesn't automatically mean you're straight. Yeah. So like I was like been kind of experimenting with dudes, like, but no, I haven't seriously dated anyone.
So what is the difference between like both of you guys can answer this, whoever wants to answer it, is like kissing, like how did you guys feel when you kissed a man and when you kissed a woman? The reason that I'm asking this is I think it's so prevalent. I experienced this where when you grow up with no representation, it's kind of like, oh, you're supposed to like how this feels. But so in your experience, how did it feel to kiss a man, and how does it kiss to feel a woman?
Adding on to that, and also just to clarify what I was mentioning before about how I like went back to try to date dudes, it was, I think for me, it was very much trying to convince myself that I am straight, and then even after trying it out, it was like, no, I can still try to convince myself that I'm straight. Like I need to enjoy this, and I think even like I've always like felt gay, just never. At least I know for Gujarati, like we don't have any language. Gujarati and Hindi, there's no words for queerness. There's no word like to describe lesbian. Like I've never seen that representation, both Bollywood or whiteness. So it's very difficult to. It was like I just didn't know. Like I was like, well, just being attracted to women is like a thing that everyone experiences. And I think this is the thing with like a lot of Halton region folks where we're just so sheltered and like don't and think that.
I think honestly it's a universal thing though.
Really?
It's a universal thing, of course, because like there's a lot of South Asian women that could probably very resonate with you. I resonate with you as well.
Yeah.
So it's not
good.
that. Yeah.
I thought it was just that Halton region is just too white trash, but I'm glad. And so it was like trying so hard to convince myself that I need to like it, but then I realized that what I was really doing was, it'd be like, this is so terrible, but like, scanning guys and being like, okay, you check off the bare minimum, this can potentially be a thing, and that was my dating criteria. Yeah. Of like, you're a dude, you'll pass for marriageable to my parents, great, let's do it. And so I guess that, and to answer your question about, the difference between kissing guys and girls is, I have to be super intoxicated to kiss guys. And now I don't drink anymore, so like...
I wish I had a horn right now so I can go pop. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Super intoxicated, because like, why did you have to be super intoxicated?
It was, I think, like, I mean, I just didn't... It was like I was trying to convince myself that I was enjoying it, and when I was intoxicated, it was kind of like I felt... I'm very lightweight too, so it's very... I like sniff beer and I'm lit, and I'm just kind of very like... enjoying everything. I just love, like, I just love body contact. Like, I'm a very affectionate person. Yeah. I'm very reserved in general with most people when I'm sober, just because I'm a very, like, kind of professional person. Yeah. Except with praying, because we're totally all over each other right now. Sorry. But.
I apologize.
Yeah, so I think all that affectionateness comes out when I'm really drunk, and I'm very loving. So I don't see a difference between how I'm, like, showing my affection, because I think at least now I've been able to really disassociate kissing and like all forms of affection with like romanticness, and that might just be because I've done it with guys, so I'm like, been kissing guys and stuff, so I'm like.
Is it also like a mind fuck thing? Because like I know I've kissed guys when I was super drunk, and I'm like, okay, this is just like in the moment. It doesn't matter. It's what society wants me to do.
Yeah.
But then I could be sober kissing a girl, and it could be like it is like 20 times or like 1,000 times better. So is it more so about like at that moment you feeling like that's something that you had to do?
Yeah, I think a lot of times I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
I think at other times when I was drunk enough to be able to pretend like I'm kissing a girl.
Okay.
And that's how.
No, this is good. I'm very like happy that you're like 100% like concrete and honest. But like, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. There are girls that I've kissed that I haven't enjoyed kissing, but that's just because they're a bad kisser.
Okay. Right.
And I've never felt the same, just with just being with a dude.
Right. So, it's so crazy because, like, Instagram is an amazing platform. And, like, recently I've been, like, I'm in my 30s. And I was talking to a preemie, and I was like, and you were, like, shocked about that. And you're like, oh, okay, you're only coming out now. And I feel like in, like, your generation, and you guys are, like, in your 20s, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I felt like I looked at you guys, and I was like, there's just so much courage and strength. And you guys are born in this era where there's so much possibilities and not, like, taking away from anything that you've gone through, like, not at all doing that. But at the same time, it was, like, such a different world when, like, I was growing up, like, such a different world. I remember when I was, like, studying at Ryerson, and, like, there was this girl that was a lesbian, like, the first, like, Tamil girl or, like, South Asian girl, because nobody was out then. Nobody was out, like, mid-2000s. And everyone thought she was, like, a deviant. And, like, to see your post and to see that you're like, oh, we just had, like, positive feedback. Like, that makes me so happy. Like, I'm actually kind of getting emotional right now because I'm like, like, that makes me so happy because I'm like, we've come such a long way. And it's just because all three of us right now have the courage to share our voices and our stories. And, like, all three of us are probably, like, trembling and nervous, and who knows who's going to hear this. But whoever is hearing this at this moment needs to hear it. And I think that it's just, these conversations are so important. And it's actually 6:50 right now. Can you guys believe it?
No way.
This is what happens with this show. Like, I swear to God, like, they're like an hour, what am I going to talk to for an hour? But, like, this is what happens. It's just like, this is the power of the show, because I think that when we are sharing our authentic truths, that, time just goes by so fast. But I do have questions for you guys in terms of, we talked about your lifestyles, how you guys were growing up, and everything that you went through that. Do you feel like, or even after the post, what can people do to make this more normalized? Like, it's all great and dandy, and it's cool to see representation, but, like, how can we move forward from that?
Like, your friend asked you, like, what does queer mean? Like, engaging in conversations when you don't know what certain things mean, because I feel like I
And what does queer mean? Just, like, set the record.
Queer is, like, an umbrella term for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, very fluid.
Yeah.
It can be used to describe, like, anything.
Right.
Yeah. So engaging in conversations and asking questions and not being afraid to ask questions, too. Like, it was, like, awesome of your friend. Like, even though they're 35 and they don't know what queer means, it means a lot for them to ask, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because the conversation has never been there. Yeah. It's never been there. So I'm going to play you guys something. And this is very personal to me, and I want to share this with you guys because this is a conversation. And I think that sometimes we focus so much on who we are. And first of all, do you guys believe, like, in the fifth dimension?
What is
like, there is, like, a fifth dimension to, like, a human soul? Do you believe in souls?
Yes.
Okay. So there is, have you heard of, like, Abraham Hicks?
No.
Okay. So basically, she kind of is, I wouldn't say she's a medium, but she does, she has this, like, internal consciousness that she does these talks. Hear me out. Everyone that's listening is all hear me out. She does these talks, and, like, she basically can channel the fifth dimension, which is like higher consciousness. So consciousness of love. So it's your soul's consciousness. So after we leave our bodies, we are a soul, right? And you can disagree and agree with that. This is what I believe. But after that point, there's a reason that we are living the lives that we're living currently and why we are all here in this present moment speaking about this, right? And I remember, and I told you, like, I had a really, really challenging journey to come to where I am currently, to have this platform, to have you guys on it and speak about this, and this is really important for me. But at the same time, I wanted to share something on why everyone has their own ways, but this is like one talk where I was just like, oh my God, like this is like, you have this, you know, I was the first Tamil DJ in the world, and you have this amazing platform, you need to come out. And this talk that I heard, I was like, because I'm an answers person. I asked a lot of questions, I need answers. So I'm like, why am I like this? Because I know a lot of people that are queer, gay, lesbians in the community think, why is this happening to me? Or like, why couldn't I just be normal? Or these are like questions. I had people message me and say, oh, I wanna commit suicide because this is the way that like people don't accept me for who I am, or my parents don't accept me. And this little thing that I found just gave me answers. So I'm gonna share that with you guys, because it's 6:51, and then we're going to wrap it up with our 3 questions. But I want to share this with you guys. And I want you guys to give me what you, like, think about this. So people that are listening right now, be open-minded, but at the same time, take this in.
I want to be a little bit specific about it. I heard it at CD, and it was very interesting to me that when people come, for example, autistic or gay, it's their purpose to be that way so that they're stronger and they don't get influenced by what other people think.
We understand what you're getting at, and you're really going to like this. We say often that there is deliberate intention from the non-physical perspective about those kinds of things, because that consciousness wants a different kind of exposure for a different kind of launching, but it's all for the purpose of that joy in coming back into alignment with it. In other words, there are many who are coming forth not normal by whatever you have decided that normal is, because they understand that in a society that is so determined to socialize everyone who gets there, that there is a sort of rampage toward conformity that defeats your whole reason for being. In other words, it's your variety that is your balance. It is the variety that is the strength. It is the variety that is responsible for this magnificent expansion. And so there are many coming forth saying, I'm going to be just different enough that your laws will not contain me. You're secular, irrational, needing me to be a certain way so that you can feel better law. But you have to understand, even in that intentionality, oh, hear this, you're going to like this so much. Even in that intentionality from source, the reason that you come to sort of upset the apple cart of human conformity is not because you're trying to teach someone a lesson, and not because you're trying to orient the world in some different way. Is that you're trying to show them that they are barking up the wrong tree when their happiness depends upon your conformity. Did you get that? That's what this source angel you is doing as you come forth. You're wanting the world to understand, or as many to understand as are willing to listen, that they are never going to find their joy if their joy is dependent on others changing behavior. Because they cannot control, you will bankrupt yourselves. Sound familiar? In other words, in your determination to control the behavior of others, there's just not enough resources, because it's defying this huge core, primal existence law, you see. So let's put it into that context. From source energy, one might say, and not with words and not with the specifics that we're claiming it here to be, I'm going to go forth into physical, and I'm going to be different from the norm enough that they will not be able to pound me, this square peg, into this round hole in order to please themselves. I'm going to be different enough that I will give them an opportunity if they might just care enough about loving me that they might find a different approach to life. I might guide them back to their source in a way they didn't see coming.
What did you guys think about that?
That was really powerful. I really like that. And it like reminded me of like my family, and like my parents are pretty chill, like for Tamil parents, but there's still a lot of reservation around me being queer. And I think a lot of that is around what will the family think, right? Because in our house, like it's fine, like we could talk about it, but around other people, like we haven't engaged in any conversations around other people, around relatives and stuff. And there's still that like, like what is the family going to think of us? Like what are they going to think of us as parents and stuff? And homophobia is socialized. Like nobody is born homophobic. So that being socialized this way and then having that being the norm and feeling the need to conform to that norm is like really like what causes all this ignorance. So engaging in conversations and like being queer and like advocating for the queer community is like so powerful. Like that was amazing. I really liked that.
Yeah. What did you think about it, Ellie? Did you get it? Did you not? You don't have to agree with it. You could.
I do get
disagree.
it. So I loved it, but then I was also very critical from my own standpoint the entire time. And I loved it because we need people to, essentially sometimes risk their lives, like what I'm doing by being this openly queer at the expense of my own life, depending on how my family reacts, or like how my family's potential status, which can be like, they can be ostracized.
But the part that she said that, like, how many people have you impacted being yourself? How many people?
Exactly, and that's where I was gonna get is there's that, but then there's this whole other realm of like why I do my work and why I'm at a place, and some other people that are in similar situations are at a place where they're like, well, I'm going to do this regardless and gamble my odds, is because it impacts so many people. And so even when I was making a low level impact with before, just like, using my space or speaking in schools, even if it was like one or two people, the people would always come up to me or just DM me after social media activism became a thing, and make a point to be like, I felt this, thank you for doing your work. And that has always reminded me of like, it doesn't matter if I might be breaking a few hearts in my extended family, because I'm helping people, like my work and my whatever I'm doing.
It's because of you, like just to I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to like shed some light. It's because of you that you asked her to be in that photo shoot, and that's why we are here. It's because of your courage, right? And like you didn't really. I think that it was so you were in alignment with who you are, and sometimes when we do care about what people think, and I know sometimes like the family part of it can be very, very, very like it could be a tough situation. But I do think that there's
that representation is important from the South Asian community, because I know what a lot of it is holding us back from even mobilizing as a collective is, what's the family going to think, especially for women. And we can't rely on South Asian queer men to, speak for us, because they'll forget about us. It's great because sometimes they will speak for us, but most of the time we just happen to be an oversight. And like there ends up being nothing for us. So if there's not people out here that can do the work, like even just make themselves visible, because visibility is what we need. That's invisibility is like the largest form of discrimination that we're experiencing in the LGBTQ+ communities, and even just in the wider community. And that's why it's so hard for us to understand ourselves. And even for like me, like when what I was going to mention earlier too is when our post went up, I was actually disappointed to see that a queer Gujarati community doesn't exist. like, I knew it didn't exist.
Okay, we're getting to the bottom of this. Okay.
Yeah, there is.
If ads cut in 30 seconds, it's not me.
Okay, if anybody knows a hashtag or anything, any online space to find queer Gujaratis in like North America, please send it to me because I've been
Hey, this is Emily King, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
The internet's #1 on the World Wide Web. iLive Radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio. This is Jay Most. Enjoy.
How you doing? What's good? It's Nkechi the Lyrical, sitting in my zone here, vibing and listening to iLive. And if you don't know, get to know. And if you do know, you don't know. And if you know, then relax and enjoy the ride.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Gwendolyn Collins, a.k.a. The Storyteller. And guess what? I am working on my 3rd solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Welcome to iLive Radio. Hi, I'm ODJ, your host from Amalgamation in Sound. Join me every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. where I'll bring you the very best in UK soul, house, broken beat, and everything in between. Remember to join in every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. for Amalgamation in Sound. See you there.
Hey, peace and blessings. This is Lucia D inviting you to join me each and every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. for Honey Drop here on iLive Radio. Journey with me each week as I spin the latest international sounds in new soul, R&B, hip-hop, and a little taste of everything in between. Every show features independent producers from across the globe in the beats beneath, and the 10 sweetest vibes of the week smooth out the night in the 10 drop. Honey Drop, each and every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on iLive Radio, serving up audible treats like honey, always with a heavy beat drop.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
The preceding program may contain language not suitable for young audiences. If you are offended by the opinions expressed, please change the dial.
Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go!
Unfiltered with Lady Pista.
So we're back. I know we're having like a very vulnerable, courageous conversation, and we had to go back into our ads, but Ali, that was not intentional. So you were saying about the Gujarati community. I feel like, can you just go back to the emotions that you had back then and then continue the
100%.
conversation? Yeah.
So an emotion that I actually felt very strongly when our posts were starting to catch a lot of clout, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So I actually felt really bad for having this emotion, but I was a little bit kind of envious to see that envious of all the wonderful love and support that Prani is getting within the Tamil community, and I was like, I want that too. Not envious of it, because I was so happy for her, but then also I was like, I want that for the Gujarati community, because the Gujarati community in general never stands up for each other, but then make it gay, make it queer, and it's just it's gone, it's not existent. And I've been trying so hard to even just find other queer Gujaratis and make this community space a thing, but I feel like there's I don't even know what it is, and do we not identify strongly with our Gujarati roots, or what have we assimilated? Because I mean it's so difficult, but then it's also okay, well, there is that history where so many of the Gujaratis were dispersed during colonial stuff, so I'm okay, that's the thing, but also looking in the immediate, how do we connect each other? Because I think I've met so I actually dated a queer Gujarati woman, and that's only because I grew up, we've known each other since the first grade, and then randomly ended up reconnecting when she found my journal article that I published.
Right.
And so I was like, oh my God, the one other Gujarati person I know, also queer, whoa.
Yeah.
And that was super interesting. But like both of us share this common thing of like, where are the Gujaratis? It's like we have to almost assimilate ourselves within this wider South Asian diaspora, or just, you know, blanket ourselves to a universalistic Indian identity, even if we're like Indo-Tanzanian, to be able to fit in and find space within that queer Desi discourse. So there's no sense.
I know you're very passionate about this because
I
like
know I need to wrap up, but
no, it's not even you wrapping up. Like I'm giving you an extended 20 minutes because I want to have this conversation, right? Because I know this is important to you, and like it's not about like Tamil, Gujarati. It's not about that for me. I just think it's just exposure about the conversations that we have to have, right? And like I've never seen you. I heard your podcast on your Instagram. I've never heard you talk about this. So I wanted to have this time for you to actually express yourself in this way because I know how it feels to be oppressed, and I think it's valid. So don't think about the time. So what can you say as a queer Gujarati woman to fellow Gujaratis that are listening, because you don't know who's listening? What could you say to them?
I really hope there are Gujaratis listening, and I really hope that we can embrace our Gujarati identity more, because I know that I have been for a long time part of that problem where it's almost like, you know, first we need to find ourselves as racialized people, then we need to find ourselves as South Asians after we find that one space, because we're like, okay, community, okay, maybe I can, you know, find myself more community. We keep trying to look for more specific. But I feel like Gujaratis have stopped at the South Asian and not been able to go further, and it might be because we never embrace our Gujarati identities as Gujarati. And even, I think the first time that I even realized, oh my god, maybe I should be doing this more because I'm looking for this community, but I also would just rely on people knowing that Patel is a super Gujarati last name.
Right, yeah.
Right? The first time I realized that was, you know, with your post when I was like, oh my god, my community is missing. Or when I dated that other queer Gujarati, when we were like, it's missing, but it only set in to like connect the dots, you know, recently.
Right.
Where I was like, I'm part of the problem. And I think something that we can all do is, if we're comfortable, you know, embracing our Gujarati identity. And I think that, you know, saying Gujarati is an easier also way sometimes to be like, because with me especially, I'm Indo-Tanzanian, but from my dad's side, but also Indian Gujarati on my mom's. So I'm like, I've always had to pick between two, because I'm from a white town. People are like, you're not African. I'm like, Tanzanian, but they don't get it. So it's always just been reduced. And I feel like in doing that, I'm making myself this monolithic Desi subject where I'm not giving myself space to understand my other roots. And there's so many, especially in Canada, like or in the Toronto region, like Afro-Gujaratis, that all, you know, we're all here. So it's like, for me at least, being able to say now that like, no, I'm this Gujarati person, it's easier for me to locate my geographic context without erasing one.
Okay.
But also, I feel like it, like, especially like, you know, not all Gujaratis are Hindu. Like, there's a large Gujarati Muslim population, and so when I say that I'm Indian, I feel like the presumption is like, okay, you're Hindu, and like that is kind of like its own reduced. But I
do think that you just being yourself, regardless of the context of what you are as a whole or like what your identity is, I think that's just so powerful. Like, just to take it back to just like layman terms, like you just being like a Gujarati queer woman of representation when you know that there isn't, right? Like, that's just so powerful in it. And like, I think that of what I can see, you're super hard on yourself, right? You are. And like, you just doing you and just as much as you can do, like, that is so powerful in that context. And I'm going to wrap it up like that. And I do have 3 questions for you guys, and you guys can answer. Whoever wants to answer this, you guys can, right? So the first question is, what gives you hope?
Seeing other...
Both of you guys can answer this. Yeah.
Hearing from other queer Desis when they see your post and have responded or like commenting, and just generally like seeing other queer Desis celebrate themselves.
Okay.
And in any context, whether it's online or like offline, or even if it's just shooting a message saying, hey, I'm not out, but you know, I like what you posted, or just anything, like, I think that gives a lot of hope, where it's you don't have to be out. You don't have to play the white game of coming out. But we know that our community exists, and just boiling it, I guess my answer boiled down to knowing that our queer South Asian community exists, and we're invisibilized, but we're not inexistent. And that we have hope to be visibilized, and we have hope to create our space, especially in the Toronto region where South Asians are the largest population in all of Canada.
Right.
And we will be visibilized and not silenced.
Okay.
That was very well put. Like, that was my answer encapsulated. And also, like, it gave me hope seeing, like, how much of a community conversation the post created too. Not just the post, but like just like queer representation. Like, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. But engaging in conversations, being like, hey, like, oh my god, like I saw your post, and like I'm also like queer and South Asian, and I didn't think, like, similar stories as we all shared. I thought that I was the only one or whatever, and like bonding over that feeling, and like celebrating that we're not actually alone. We have each other. Yeah. That.
Did it surprise you how much the Tamil community supported you?
Yeah, 100%. Because I grew up like with like homophobic slurs like being thrown around. Even still, like I have some family members who are not cool with me being queer. Like one of my cousins sent me a screenshot of a conversation that he had with another one of my cousins, a supportive cousin. DM'd me a screenshot of an unsupportive cousin, and the unsupportive cousin was like, "Oh shit, she's gay. Like, do her parents know?" And then like, it was, and then I saw him again at a family party, and he was just like completely like quiet and like, it's still. I forgot what your question was, but no.
You answered it. You answered it. So again, to you, when was the last time you cried?
A couple days ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it anything related to just random things?
I have a lot going on with school and work and all of this stuff. Yeah. This is like very positive, but it's also been like a lot to take on and to digest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, it's random questions, right?
Yeah.
Last question is, if we lived in a perfect world, and, you know, love is love, nothing really mattered in terms of gender or identities or labels. In a day, what do you think the world can be?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, so if nothing mattered, so if you were in your, just think about your, like, La La Land, right? Like, you're just in your world, and, like, this whole world didn't exist. And you were just in your thoughts or in your, in your fantasy land. What would that world look like for you? In a couple sentences.
Okay, you go first.
I need some time to think. My brain is processing this really slowly.
No, you can think about it.
Acceptance from the South Asian community, solid, visibilized, queer South Asian community. No discrimination. That's such a cookie cutter answer, but like.
No, but you can even let me rephrase that in terms of where we can give it. I'll give you guys a different perspective. Imagine if you woke up one day, and it was just the world that you created. How would that look like? What would you do What would you do in that day?
Okay, I'm gonna explain what I would do in that day instead of what the world would look like, because that would be too many systemic oppressions I need to get rid of. But.
Okay.
What I would do.
But you're creating this world, though, so it's not systemic oppression. It's your version of it. So I don't agree with that. But just like your version of what it would be, what it will look like. Like you could just it's like a cartoon. Like imagine like animations. It's just creation.
Okay, everyone's gay. No straight people.
There you go. That's the answer I'm looking for.
Okay. Cool. That's exactly it.
Everyone's gay.
Everyone's gay. And
Great answer.
And all white people are woke.
Great answer. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. Like everybody's gay. Everyone's like chilling.
Great.
Like,
Amazing. Okay. Thank you guys so much. I wanted to continue this conversation because I know how important it is. You guys have been extremely courageous and authentic on sharing your stories, and this is super important. Like I mentioned to you guys how it's super important to me to have you guys on here. and talk authentically about it, and like amazing, game changer, epic, revolutionary, like, oh my God. Like, we are gonna, like, it's just, yeah, the people that are listening right now, women that have, that feel alone, that, you know, that felt like there aren't no, like, South Asian representation, they're gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, okay, the world's changing, and I'm so proud to be a part of that journey and to have you guys here along with that. Are you guys working on anything else? And where can people find you if they do want to contact you, or if they do feel like you know, they want to speak to people about being South Asian and queer? What can they do?
Yeah, so they can either reach out to our individual handles, or we both run the nonprofit, the Queer South Asian Women's Network, and all of our
Queer South Asian Women's Network. Okay, where can they find that?
So all of our handles are QSAW Network.
Okay.
And so, QSA Network. So you could find us on Instagram and Facebook. We are probably more responsive to our Instagram DMs.
Okay.
And
so are you guys okay if people reach out to you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Please reach out to us. Like, we're
you guys like that. Yes, reach out.
Encouraging of it. And you can
Amazing.
also I get a lot, I don't know about you, but I get a lot of DMs on my personal account too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I became an advice column for a little while and I loved it. I was like living my best like J14 magazine life, like from when I was like 14 years old.
Amazing. Okay. So okay. Amazing. So if you guys want to contact them, you can get them on my actual profile at Lady Pista Show or at Lady Pista. It's iliveradio.com. We had a very inspirational conversation. This is actually going to be on Spotify and on my page as well, so you can access it there. And there's a video component too, so we are looking pretty for you guys. Okay, 7:18 in Toronto and in UK as well. We are going to play a song. It's actually one of my mixes that I recently made. This one goes a little something like this.
You've just been pistol whipped.
This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting yo. This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting.
Take it easy. Don't want it, man. Don't want it. Never yet I need just don't want it, man. Just don't want it, don't want it. Take it easy.
American girls come wine up for me, my Jamaican girls come wine up for me. I thought that girls come wine up for me, my Caribbean girls come buzz up for me. This love now Walangolo, this love now one thing yo. If you play like with the move yo, that can play where you go to play mommy yo, mommy yo, mommy yo, mommy yo. Girl now me go to play daddy yo. Girl if you be baby I be nanny yo. See how she fine like a brand yo. Yeah.
This is a bad girl anthem.
Don't want it, man. Just don't want it. Every other day, just don't want it.
Yeah.
London boy, come give it to me. All my Lagos boys, them spend it on me. Jamaican boys, them jam it for me. My American boys, them swag it for me. Yeah.
Mommy, yo, now me go to play that yo. And if you the baby, I be nan yo. See how she fine like a brand yo. Yeah. Shumawa, langolo. Oh, why shumawa to roll it? Oh, baby make a day where you oh. Come make a show you special love. Take it easy,
London boy, come give it to me. All my Lagos boys, them spend it on me. Jamaican boys, them jam it for me. My American boys, them swag it for me. Yeah.
அடைமழை வரும் அதில் நனைவோமே குளிர் காய்ச்சலோடு ஸ்நேகம் ஒரு போர்வைக்குள் இரு தூக்கம் குழு குழு பொய்கள் சொல்லி என்னை வெல்வாய் அது தெரிந்தும் கூட அன்பே மனம் அதையேதான் எதிர்பார்க்கும்
aka the Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my third solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Hey, this is DJ Jarzino. Come and join me each and every Thursday on the Love Freeness Radio Show between 4 and 6 p.m. EST, 9 and 11 GMT. Be sure to tune in, spread the word, and share the link right here each and every Thursday on iLive Radio.
Ready for Rapsalute?
We're the #1 hip-hop show in the T-Dot, airing every Monday from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. on iliveradio.com with your host Amber, alongside DJ Shortcut, Chino, Dean, and Caesar Swift on the ones and twos, representing the culture, the lifestyle, the music, and the DJs.
Hey, what's going on, everybody in cyberspace? This is The Groove Show with your boy, the crowd pleaser, DJ Mark Anthony. Don't forget, each and every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m., we want to put you in the mood for whatever the night has in store. I'm playing only the best feel-good, party rocking, body-shaking music from funk to soul to reggae to R&B, house to salsa, and much, much more. We call it The Groove each and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked. It's the crowd pleaser, baby. You know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, aka The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my 3rd solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah. Hey, what's up? This is your girl Gwendolyn Collins, aka The Storyteller, and guess what? I am working on my 3rd solo project, Storytelling Side 3, Hello Again. It would be so cool if you would partner with me in what will probably be the most personal and deepest story I've ever told through my music. Please check out my crowdfunding campaign by going to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. And just search for me, Gwendolyn Collins. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Mwah. Are you ready for Rap Salute? We're the #1 hip-hop show in the T-Dot, airing every Monday from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. on iliveradio.com with your host Amber, alongside DJ Shortcut, Chino, Dean, and Caesar Swift on the ones and twos, representing the culture, the lifestyle, the music, and the DJs.
We back. It's the Lady Pista Show. And listen, we had some really, really, really intimate conversations going on. And I'm glad we had that talk and that conversation because it's much needed in the South Asian community. If you guys didn't hear it, you can catch it on Spotify probably tomorrow, actually. But it is Saturday night. It is 7:30, almost 7:30 on the dial, and we have a special guest DJ. We're gonna turn you up for that Saturday night because it is all about the good vibes, good energy, good music, and it is the Lady Pista Show. And we have DJ Foreplay. Not even Foreplay. You know, like I'm looking at you, I'm like, he's a foreplay right now. Got him on the dial right now.
Okay, you know what? I just want to shout out everybody that's listening up right now to the Lady Pista Show because you know what? It's happening in T-Dot and I just got to support this lovely, lovely talent. And you know what? You're only going further from here, man. I'm serious. Foreplay.
Is it really foreplay?
It's really foreplay.
No, you're lying to me. No, I was just like foreplay. Damn, I didn't take your man's smiling right now, and I'm like, okay. We got Foreplay on the dial. He's gonna turn you up for that Saturday night. Get ready. It goes a little something like this.
I'm at a party I don't wanna be at, and I don't ever wear a suit and tie. Wondering if I can sneak out the back. Nobody's even looking me in my eyes. Can you take my hand, finish my drink, say shall we dance? Hell yeah. You know I love you, did I ever tell you? You make it better like that. Don't think I fit in at this party. Everyone's got so much to say. Yeah, I always feel like I'm nobody. Who wants to fit in anyway? 'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. You're making me feel that maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. 'Cause I don't care as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. You're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah.
Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Back it up from wind. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Body, me a wind up my body. Back it up from wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Back it up from wind up my body.
Love how you sit down and wine pon your head. You have the boom, them gyal the wine dead. Baby that split they a mash up me head. Me and me gyal a touch till we jump off up. Me say gyal fi beg, gyal fi get love till them can't feel them. Woman a touch gyal and I treat them like egg. Woman who a feel like them just done. Me love woman like me love. Knock it up and me love do it for fun. But how one speed when me under me rum and she do the stripper wine and fi fight fi no done car. Gyal you have it, how you get so much and she no have none. A guy get one him a fi one back, so me make big top shot out a beat like a drum when you
Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Back it up from wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Wind up my body, me a wind up my body. Back it up from wind up my body.
every girl I say fit them tight, but you have the pretty way you hold me in up. Me a fi ask you how you pretty so. You me a muggle with anywhere me go. You are the prettiest girl inna the dance. If you want, fi me say take off the glove. I must see God say you from up above. Baby me tell you me fall in love. Girl mind pon this spot. Bump a bit, no flap, come climb pon it. It's side out, push it back, girl mind. Your fat.
Ladies, it's your favorite DJ, DJ Foreplay.
Why this make you feel like though? Why this make you feel like though? Why this make you feel like though? Y'all, come wine till you. Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
So like Pista said, you know what? We're digging it up right about now inside of the studio, iLive studio on your Saturday. Do remember, it's from 6 to 8 every Saturday with the Lady Pista Show. And I'm just humbled to be here with you. Foreplay, Pista XL inside the building. Do get familiar. Dot 6 Entertainment. Follow me on your IG, DJ Foreplay _IB.
Broke off your back, broke off your back, if you broke off your back, broke off your back, broke off your back. Girl, you know you got the glue, know you got the glue, know you got the glue. Come broke off your back, broke off your back.
They never see a girl with a bad song yet. Me never see a girl with a bad song yet. Girl, me never see a girl like you. You want to see a she a ice and wine, ice and wine. Wine up your body for me one more time. Ice and wine, girl. Your skin smooth and you look so refined. Ice and wine, me love how you flow your waistline. You know sour like a lime. You know juky like a pine.
Ladies, it's your favorite DJ, DJ Foreplay.
So wind up on my body, girl. Me want you come wine your waistline for me. She take one shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4. After 9 minutes, she come back for more. She take off the shoes and pound the dance floor. Then she start to broke out like a sword. Then she approach me just like a cure. Me know that she like me tonight, me a swore. She sexy, she beautiful and she pure. Tell her you me a do so wind up on my body, girl. Wind up like a carnival. Tell me love the way you do wine for me. Tell her wine is so emotional. So wind up on my body, girl. Me want you come wine your waistline for me.
Ladies, it's your favorite DJ, DJ Foreplay. The ladies don't like you, DJ
Yeah, your friends
Foreplay.
them a walking trophy. Tell a girl say, girl you know say you're pretty from your band. Walk out and you not try hard. Them girls they not pretty in a real life. You're pretty from the gram and you're pretty in a real life. Your body look good, set right, sit there. Your thing done up, well tight, well there. Body clean and no cellulite, and your skin just a glow like pepper light. Yeah. Smile show your pretty dimple, your teeth white. You not feel weird name brand for your look right. Fashion over jeans, grip that night. You're pretty from the gram and you're pretty in a real life. You a walking trophy. You a walking trophy. My girl, you a walking trophy. Tell your friends them a walking trophy. Girl, you know say you're pretty from your band. Walk out and you not try hard. Them girls they not pretty in a real life. You're pretty from the gram and you're pretty in a real life. Your body look good, set right, sit there. Your thing done up, well tight, sit there. Body clean and no cellulite, and your skin just a glow like pepper light.
Ladies, it's your favorite DJ, DJ Foreplay.
Okay. So you know what? Again, they call me Foreplay. There's a reason they call me Foreplay. I'm for the ladies. I'm all about the ladies. You know what? It's all about the ladies right about now on the Saturday. And you know what? When you get a hold of me, you just don't want to let go. So I'm dedicating this next song to all the nice and sexy ladies on the outside. Foreplay, Pista.
For a minute I was stone cold sober. I pulled you closer to my chest, and you asked me to stay over. I said I already told you. I think that you should get some rest. I knew I loved you then, but you never know. 'Cause I played it cool and I was scared to let it go. I know I needed you, but I never showed. Stay with you until we're grown old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go.
You know what it is when you hear that?
Breakfast in bed, darling. I got your bed, falling. I make you bed for you.
your favorite DJ, DJ Foreplay.
Toast, yeah. So we are coming here with a force, yeah. Blessings we are reap and we coursing on full. Oh, we not rise and boast. Yeah, we give thanks like we need it the most. We have to give thanks like we really supposed to be thankful. Blessings all for my life and my thank God for the journey. The earnings are just for the plus. Yeah, and gratitude is a must. Yeah, me see blessings fall by my right hand. But I toast for the friends we take off every load. One time did sit down in a class and we bored. Then only said the road and me go on with the road. Third form, me say me try a thing. And you know it formed up to be a fire thing. Now up on stage with chronic say I sing. Yeah, see me all diggy soon get the higher ring. Like hello brother, we say I had to shot ya. Saw your poster, spectacular photo. Keep it burning, yes, that's the motto. If me the butter pass through your shot to get ball in a life, man. Me have to thank God for the journey. The earnings are just for the plus. Yeah, and gratitude is a must. Yeah, me see blessings fall by my right hand. But I toast to the friends we take off every load. One time they sit down in a class and we bored. Then only said the road and we go on with it, we go on with it. That's how our blessings are for me. And send me to tell them a story. That's how our blessings are for me. And that's how I'm to give him the door. Breathe from me delight. And Jano say my passion ignite. Got the music me excited. Coming like a potion. Blessings all for my life and my thank God for the journey. The earnings are just for the plus. Yeah. Gratitude is a must. Yeah. Blessings fall by my right hand. But I toast for the friends we take off every load. One time did sit down in a class and we bored. Then only said the road and we go on with the road.
When them fly up in your face, gal, make them know them place. Number one in the race, gal, could never replace. Independent and you're strong, gal, and you set the pace. Fit and healthy, living long, gal. Free yourself, gal, you got class and you got pride. Come together, cause we stronger, unified. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal, control it, gal, roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll it, gal, control it, gal.
DJ Foreplay.
For the longest while we're jamming in the party, and you're whining on me, pushing everything. Right back on top of me, yeah. But if you think you're gonna get away from me, you better change your mind. You're going home. You're going home with me tonight. Let me hold you, go caress my body. You got me going crazy. You turn me on, turn me on. Let me charm you, come right out around me. You got me going crazy. You turn me on, turn me on.
When I get a love of breath,
I've traveled through the stars and many moons to find you.
Ladies, it's your favorite DJ, DJ Foreplay.
Take a wine day, take a wine day. Boy,
Y'all are tuned into the Lady Pista Show. We have DJ Foreplay on the ones and twos. And listen. He's playing you some of that soca to get you ready for that carnival. You know how we do it. Live and direct.
take a wine day, take a wine day. Boy, baby, I've traveled through the stars
you watch me. I said I see that guy win the lottery. How you go pick up just so and then dump me? No, baby, no. But your back on me clothes in a garbage bag. You put it on the ground by the roadside. You tell me get out your place, so come inside. Baby, don't do me that, you go break my heart. Can't believe you're ready to give up on me just so. Cause if you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be cooking the way you do. You can't be hooking me. If you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be walking the way you do. Because you're hooking me.
Okay, check 1, 2. That's right. Again, we are inside right now of the Lady Pista Show. If you want to know what's happening, she had me in as a special guest DJ this evening, and I just am humbly grateful for that. And you know what? Do remember, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, she will be here every Saturday from the 6 to 8 p.m. slot in the iLive Radio. So you know what? Download the app. If you don't know, now you know. Tell a friend, tell somebody. They got to get the iLive app and definitely listen each and every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. I go by the name of DJ Foreplay. And again, it is the Lady Pista Show for you this evening. Compliments here of iLive Radio.
Si el ritmo te lleva a mover la cabeza, ya empezamos como es. Mi música no discrimina a nadie, así que vamos a romper. Toda mi mente se mueve. Mira el ritmo como lo tiene. Hago música que entretiene. El mundo nos quiere, me quiere a mí. Toda mi mente se mueve. Mira el ritmo como lo tiene. Hago música que entretiene. Mi música los tiene fuerte bailando y se baila así.
Estamos rompiendo la discoteca, la fiesta no para, apenas comienza. C'est comme ça, ma chérie, la 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 la. Francia, Colombia, me gusta. Freeze. J Balvin, Willy William, te gusta. Freeze. Los DJ no mienten, le gusta a mi gente y eso se fue muy bien. No le bajamos, mas nunca paramos, es otro palo y blanco.
¿Y dónde está mi gente? Me tramos en la tête. ¿Y dónde está mi gente? I've been moving on, and I think you should be something I don't wanna hold back. Maybe you should know that my mama don't like you, she likes everyone. And I never lied to admit that I was wrong. And I've been so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on. But now I know I'm better sleeping on my own. Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself.
The Ladies Delight.
I love your energy like a cool breeze. Got you warmed up in the jacuzzi. Girl, I'ma turn you over like a new leaf. Just show me what you do, little mama. Girl, you put a spell on me. le voy a negar. Estamos claros y ya. No te lo voy a negar.
No te lo puedo negar.
Estamos claros y ya.
Estamos claros. Estamos claros.
Na, 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 na. I don't want her, girl, I want you. Kissing on your neck, leave a tattoo. Oh, you got a damn good bad news. You don't gotta ask, girl, I'm that dude. Baila, placata, placata, como ella lo mueve, sin parar, sin parar. Girl, you got me faded, I can't even fake it. You know I want ya, y no te voy a negar. Estamos claros y ya. No te lo voy a negar.
got me feeling spicy. I know that we don't speak the same language, but I'm gonna let my body talk for me. Hola, I'm okay. Little Miss Girl got me feeling naughty. I know that we don't speak the same language, so I'm gonna let my body talk for me.
Yo quiero ver cómo ella lo menea. Mueve ese pum pum girl. Es una asesina cuando baila, quiere que todo el mundo la vea. I like your pum pum girl. Con calma. Yo quiero ver cómo ella lo menea. Mueve ese pum pum girl. Tiene adrenalina, mete la pista, venteame lo que sea. I like your pum pum girl.
Just to put my girls on the hunt tonight. Got a feeling I'ma catch a wild one. And I know that I'm not typically your type, but you never had this kind of stimulation. Eyes on me when I light up the room. You play the right vibe and my body will move. Easy, baby, I see you're in the mood. And me too. Con calma. I see you loving the way I work the floor now. I got that boom boom boy. You could be my Puerto Rican dream and I'll be your California girl now. I got that boom boom boy. Con calma. I see you loving the way I work the floor now. I got that boom boom boy. You could be my Puerto Rican dream and I'll be your California girl now. I got that boom boom boy.
Yo, we got DJ Foreplay in the house. Listen, all my ladies, I feel like he's just playing for you guys because he's just like getting down and dirty. He's sweating right now. I wish you could see him in the mix, all on iLife Radio on the Lady Pista Show. Listen, it's a Saturday night. We're getting you ready. We're getting you so ready that you're just gonna want to go clubbing after this because he's got me heated right now. That's why his name is Foreplay. Yes. You can check him out at Instagram.com/DJ. Is it underscore Foreplay? Yes?
That's right. It's DJ Play underscore IV for the number 4. So DJ Play underscore IV on the IG.
That's the voice to kill for right now. Also, next week, we'll be tuning in on the Lady Pista Show. We have Bubba Khan in the studio. My man, he is an influence in my life, and I'm so appreciative that he's going to be up in the studio. He's going to be doing a spin set as well. But we're going to kick it off with the last mix. Mr. Foreplay, what do you have for us?
You know, again, they don't call me Foreplay for nothing. So what do you think? It's got to be for the ladies. It's always about the ladies. Guys, you know what? Mad love to all the gents out there, but you know, I got to take care of the ladies. First time on the iLife show. Again, thank you for having me on. It was amazing. Pister's doing her thing, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. And again, it's all about the ladies right now.
Let's go.
trips that you plan for the next whole week. Bands too long for so cheap and your flex OD, your sex OD. You got it, girl, you got it. Hey, you got it, girl, you got it. Yeah, pretty little thing, you got a bag and now you wildin'. You just took it off the line, no mileage. Waiting, hitting you the DM looking falling. Talking while you come around and now they silent. Through the coupe at 17, no guidance. You be staying low, but you know what the fight is. Ain't never got you know it being modest. Poppin' it only cause you know you poppin', yeah. You got it, girl, you got it. Hey. You got it, girl, you got it.
Little baby in a bag and a Birkin. No 9 to 5, put the work in. Laws and all, I love them all. To me, you're perfect. Baby girl, you got it, girl, you got it, girl. You got it, girl, you got it, girl. I don't wanna play no games, play no games. But I'll give you my last name. Know you tired of the same damn thing. That's okay, cause baby, you
got it, girl.